Okay. This is why we watch anime, right?
Episode 1.
Well,
Pilot.
This so-called episode 1. Okay. Bless.
And we're here to bring you our criticisms about some anime.
Right, and our first
up
episode that we watched for this pilot is Blast Rider.
First episode of the series.
Yeah, we're not really sure why we decided to watch it, except for the fact that he saw it and he's like, "This looks stupid, so let's do it." Interesting. Anyway, so first topic we're going to talk about regarding Blast Rider is the CGI, and
which I'm sure most people found pretty annoying.
Yeah, I mean the first time I saw this stupid. Well, I mean you have the typical anime cartoony look going on, and then all of a sudden you have weird CGI getting thrown in there, and it's like, what are they trying to do?
It definitely seemed like the series, or at least this episode, was dominated with a lot of CG, and it looks really fake. It didn't, like, if the whole series was CG, it would be a different story, but there was anime and CG, and it just, like, wasn't a good mix.
Exactly. I mean, if it were like, you know, Final Fantasy Spirits Within, you know, the whole thing was CG, it'd be like, fine, sure, but they had, like, normal scenes, and all of a sudden they had a gun with the clip going in that was CG, and it was like, why? And it was just kind of retarded.
And so, second, the whole, like, motorcycle thing, like, I don't know, maybe they thought it was, like, edgy and cool, but motorcycles were really just kind of lame.
Who rides a motorcycle? I ride a motorcycle, so they're not really that lame. He's just stupid.
No, motorcycles are cool, but, like, in this series, it was just not cool.
It was retarded. I mean, it didn't make any sense because they're trying to do, like, crazy moves and kicks and martial arts, and they're shooting with motorcycle, and all of a sudden they have, like, freeze time. That was weird, too. The whole freeze time, like, time warp thing where they're like, oh, now we're going very slow.
And there were, like, combat scenes on motorcycles, which really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That makes sense, yeah. Except you're watching that one Torque movie, you know, that came out, and they had, like, motorcycles.
Never saw it.
Okay, yeah. It wasn't that great anyway. Next up, we're going to talk about, demoniac.
Which was some stupid word they used for these demon things that were people that transformed into some monsters. And every time they called them demoniac, I just thought, that's a really stupid name. They should have come up with something original or used a word that's actually a word.
Yeah, they definitely didn't hit the nail on the head with that. Retarded demoniac.
Another strange thing about that was that, like, every time one showed up, like, people would be like, oh my god, a demoniac. But then, when it's doing, like, plot of the series, they're like, what are these things? Who are they? But they have a name for it. That everyone knows what they are and knows what to call it.
Yeah.
So there was just this weird, like...
I remember what you were saying when we were watching it. The announcer for the show, he was like, oh, there's a demoniac. And people were like, wait, I don't get it. What's it doing? And he's like, well, there's just one there. There's just like another day in the world of this in the world.
It was very strange.
What else? Yeah, the first episode, it was just a confusing episode in general. I mean, this old guy, right? Well, he's not old, but he's like mid-30s, and he obviously had some accidents to where he sucks at riding now, but he's getting better, and now he took some what, got shot, or not shot, but he took a shot.
Oh, he took a drug or something.
Some drug, and now some
lady's like,
pill, and now
here you go, take this. Okay, I'll take your drugs.
Evangelion too. I mean, James. I don't think we ever said her name, so who cares about that? James here, Koreth, he says that he doesn't really see the Evangelion reference, but it's like the same thing. I mean, you see like Eva 01, and you saw the monsters, or not the monsters, the anti-monsters come in, and it was like Eva all over again. It was stupid.
Well, there's definitely a lot of confusion, but again, that's not all that uncommon in anime. I mean, they try to keep you in the dark, not let things out too early, so that there's some mystery to what's going on. But, I mean, there was just maybe too much. You didn't understand what was going on in the aspect that, like, there was time jumps all over the place. Like,
yeah, there were.
Obviously the very, very intro, like, scene of the race isn't what's apparently not the modern, or whatever the current present is in the series. And it's just really strange.
Yeah, alright, so next up we we're reading the forums because that's what we're going to do for most of these episodes, and a lot of people were just saying that it's just typical Gonzo in that, it's crap and flop, and I think we both agreed that, prejudice.
Yeah, you definitely can't judge an anime just by, like, what company is putting it out there. And when I was reading through that, and I mean, obviously I don't keep up with that because it doesn't matter to me, but I read, like, that Gonzo put out Speed Grapher, and honestly, that's, like, one of my favorite animes. I thought it was great. And I know there's,
Animes.
What?
Plural.
Whatever. And a lot of people didn't like it. It's it's not rated super high, but I thought it was cool. And so I don't think you can judge an anime by the company. Right. That's just not cool.
Yeah. We're not going to advocate that. So let's talk about a little bit about fan subgroup. Not much to say there except it was by Otaku Legends and they sucked.
They did pretty bad. There were a lot of spelling and punctuation errors that really just get frustrating as you read it. Honestly, it seems like, why not just spend the extra day before you release it to have one non-idiot read through?
It took away from the show because, I mean, we sat there for a few minutes making fun of the spelling error instead of watching it, so it was like, great job, fan subgroup, so they didn't do so great.
And overall, I mean, this show is rated on the site like an R, 17 and up. And honestly, it doesn't seem like it should be, except that there was just like random nudity thrown in. The violence is not very bloody. It's not very human, which generally moves it away from an R rating.
Right.
Into a younger rating. Like PG-13 can have plenty of violence so long as it's not very gory. But like the very beginning, there's nudity for almost no reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just like, it was fan service, but it wasn't fan service because obviously you saw much more than fan service would normally give you. But it didn't make any sense. And it's like, okay, you're trying to gear toward the older audience, but at the same time you're throwing in this little kiddie atmosphere, sorta, and it's stupid.
Right. A more adult-themed anime shouldn't be about nudity and blood and graphics. It should be about themes and the content, what's going on.
Yeah, and the trials and tribulations that everybody has to go through. And to tie up this episode, we just want to mention that Bailey, in a forum post, in I think the first episode discussion forum post, she said that it's worse than Dragonaut, and
I think we could both agree with that. This series does look like it could be worse than Dragonaut, which is surprising because that was awful.
Yes, that was really bad. He tried to get me to watch more than we actually watched. We're not going to do a vlog on that one, or vlog, whatever you want to call it. But it was terrible. So
very bad.
We didn't do that.
Anyway, overall, I think I would give this out of 10. This episode would be like a 3. It's pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend it either. So give it a try if you want, but don't blame us if you wasted 20 minutes.